So, by mistake, I forgot that upgrading my Lucid Funded will take off my executions. So, I'm just going to pop it up on the screen from my phone on the 30-second chart. And let's just kind of redo what we did today because we did not trade really that ideally. One, I did have $200 to pass on my combine, so I was a bit more aggressive but low size. So, I traded four contracts today. Usually on a funded, I would be trading four, five, six. So I was coming in today looking at shorts. These are what I had predicted for my different cycle profiles. So coming into open, right here, what did I see? After I saw this, I was honestly getting not anxious, but I did want to enter off this 1 minute first presented to lower sell side because we have so many targets lower. So looking on replay, coming into market open, like exactly right at market open, what I was looking at is accumulation, manipulation, distribution to go lower here and then expand possibly back into the range to set for 10 MPO3. A little bit like what happened yesterday, and then I was gonna see if we go lower from there to the first presented for value gap and such because it is manipulation. And like I said, we were predicting lower, which turned out not to happen. So I was waiting. First presented got made. I looked on the 2 minute. I saw it was actually a 2 minute as well. That was smaller. So what I did was I waited for this 2 minutes to get tapped, and it did. What I then did from there wasn't so great. So I really didn't like the RR on this, to be honest. Like safe stop would technically be above here. I lowered it to the bodies of the candle, and our 1-to-1 was going to be here to London low. Not very far at all. Low hanging objective. Also true week open. This would also be, if we go, actually that might take us off replay if we go to regular. We'll check in a second, but regular trading hours, new daily opening gap, I was using these quadrants to enter off of. Ideally, for A plus trade, I was looking at entering in the optimal trade entry area close to this, basically where open was, right? Our opening was right here. True microcycle inversed. We're looking for an OT retracement to send lower. That's what I was basing my trade off of. So when I then entered on this, actually, I entered at this 30-second gap because after that, then you see this, we get the sweep and manipulation. So I'm assuming, okay, we could move lower from here. I'm gonna enter in case we do, because we're using so little risk. This would be like 250 to 300 is basically what the trade was. So after that, I got stopped out. So right when this happened, actually, I got stopped out. I think I lowered my stop because I was assuming I was going to get stopped out. So right here, I got stopped out. And what I was looking at was this gap because there is no fair value gap on this side of price to send us lower from. Like, really, where is it going to retrace to? It was going to retrace to CE or higher, and I risked wrong, basically. And so it stopped me out when it was going higher, and then I took a re-entry off of, I think it was a 15-second. I had to be very quick with this because at this time, we created a Kraken correlation between our manipulation high and our supposed to be distribution to the downside, which I thought was going to happen. And let's look on regular trading hours because there's something that I do want to talk about. It is the SMTs on regular trading hours. So this SMT created with ES is exactly why, yeah, and it's not going to go to electronic. Nice job, ES. So right here, that high, SMT, is what we're looking at right here in opening. So that was what I was looking to base my short, let's line this up, to base my short off of. And that was like, more confluences were in this short. I was a bit impulsive. I wanted to pass the account soon, and price action looked decent off of open. But this was a really actually good low stop entry. We had 25 points risk. I still used four contracts. I thought that it would be easy to go break even because we just created a low right here. And that low actually turned out to be our manipulation, which we used to go higher. But before that, I was thinking we're going to move lower. So what did I do? I held. I saw this was reversing. And at the point of reversal right here, when I noticed we hit CE of this perfectly, immediately went up, and then we hit a 2 minute fair value gap on ES right here. which also I was watching for inverse, like right here. When we tap this, very slight tap. I'm actually gonna show this clear because it's very important. Right there, that slight tap. Technically, that is in a BPR range, leaving our 4 hour fair value gap. And since we haven't inversed that for our 10 a.m., I think that we were going to go higher from there. So what I do, I honestly wanted to maximize the profit I could make off of this, thinking I was going to be break even anyway, or possibly break even. So I was willing to hold it till break even because, sometimes you do get a reversal like right at where you are at. Like my entry was right here. I had to have my entry was here. I had to have my stop like right there. And it was I just decided fuck them. So we we were just gonna hold that trade. Don't do that to me. And by the time we opened 10 a.m. right here, by the time we opened 10 a.m., I was like completely just baffled that we did not move lower from this because we created an SMT here, and then I think we created a second SMT at the low initially, and then we created an SMT right here. We didn't even sweep that low. And so since we had two SMTs, I'm like, okay, this is like possibly ranging or sorry, seek and destroy day, but also we're still technically trading inside the range of the daily candle. Like I said, right? Inside the range of the daily candle. So we got to sweep something to like really move in one direction. And I guess internal movements weren't going to cut it today. So I adapted. I used regular trading hours to verify my direction for the 10 a.m. PO3. My quadrants were what I entered off of because when this 10 a.m. opened right here, I want you to know that this high got taken and immediately I opened up an OTE range. This is something that I'm starting to study off of Powell, but really it's just logic. When we're coming in, if we created a range, also ICT talked about our opening 30-minute range, right? So the lowest low in the first 30 minutes, 9:30 to 10. And that's exactly what we have here technically. Yeah, this is 10. But anyway, since that's our high, that's our TCISD candle technically, right? I would choose this high. So cuz that's the high. Anyway, off of this, I am looking for a retrace to a discount entry. Yes, we have a 2 minutes. The 2 minute is actually like what we're moving off of right now. Look at this. If you look at the 1 minute, this is just terrible. Well, not terrible, but it's just not A plus. It's not A plus movement for a 1 minute candle. But 2 minutes, it just gives you a lot of relief, kind of taking away all that noise. And right here is where our 2 minute for value gap was our lower one. So I was expecting us to retrace not to here only, but to here. And same thing with ES, our right here. Our optimal trade entry was going to be right here in that 2 minute tap. So this 2 minute, I think I was looking at a 5. It was ES was going to come tap. No, it wasn't. Okay. Well, anyway, off of that, I knew that we were going to retrace lower than 50%. So once this microcycle, oh yeah, we also had a microcycle SSMT. So this microcycle was my validation right here, this sweep of the low on ES, and creating that microcycle on NQ. Come on, line up. And creating that microcycle on NQ, I thought that was going to be a very one-directional reaction since we already rebound, or like we are rejecting C, bro. Come on. TradingView honestly needs to lock in, bro. They have been having a lot of lags recently. Okay, we're off replay, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically what we're trading right now. So off of that microcycle, I was looking for a very strong reaction. One, because like I said, for at least our 30-minute initial range has been established. We are delivering with a cracking correlation above CE from that with a very, very low stop. So this was my last trade. I entered about right there. I had a 25-point stop and it was 7 contracts. So I was at that low right there. I'm using the quadrancy. I'm below 75%, a little bit below where that stop microcycle is. And we have rebalance price on the 30 seconds. So it does not have a reason to come back and deliver here because we have our manipulation. We have all price delivering to each gap on every time frame. So this is a protected stop, and that's why I entered with that many contracts. And because also I wanted the RR to be where I would just be out if when that high got taken. And so that's what would happen. That's what did happen. The reason why I didn't hold this was because I just didn't like the price action, honestly, after we started ranging on this. I know that this would be like great 10 a.m. PO3 if we. No, let's not do that. I know that this would be like a great 10 a.m. PO3 if this was our bottom and we just go break even, and this 1 minute would just hold us. And that's what I was thinking about. But really, I wouldn't have gone break even because even a retrace within this range could, come down all the way to 1. So I wouldn't have gone break even there. I would have lowered my risk to about this low once we took this high. But I did not hold because I passed another count. So what I was thinking, and initially I did not think we were going to long, but I was thinking that we were going to manipulate lower and then possibly move higher off the fair value gap. But I guess we were closer to the previous day high than we were to the low. So it makes sense that we took it because we just been so bearish and markets are kind of hard to trade when there's so much manual intervention and you don't even know what news is going on at the moment. So let's actually check this 15. Right, another 15-minute range. Since it is manipulation day, I can tell that price is moving pretty well. Price moving pretty well, so you should definitely on manipulation days when price is moving well. Same thing with X and distribution days. You want to make OTE ranges just for retraces like this. You just want to know where it's going. Sometimes if it's really bullish, it'll use the upper range, like won't go below 0.5, 100%, and it'll use like the top 3 if it's really bullish. But that's if we're, using 5-minute retraces and it's like the first one, or 2-minute retraces for 10 a.m. open and it's like literally right there, the first one, the first 2-minute. Let's actually look at the 3-minute because I'm curious. 3-minute right there, first one. So stuff like that is how I kind of measure out how long I want to hold a trade and where it could go to. Things like using the standard deviation of a 2-minute retrace. I would like to align that with some sort of high if I could, like something like that. Same thing with this retrace. Like I could definitely exit right here, and the reason I would exit is because this would be at a -2 to 2, wrong side. It'd be at like 2 to -2, or sorry, +2 to 2.5 right there, about where our 2-minute retrace. Yeah, so right, if I entered at this body, right, stop there, 2 to 2.5, that's our 1 to 4. We took 1 to 1.5, but this is like 1 to 3, right, 3.5 right there. If we're going to our target 4, this is how I like use not even just predictions for all-time highs, but even just in ranges. Because on our retraces, you can expect, ICT says this all the time, you can expect, when you're doing a retrace, you can expect a multiple of 1 at least for it to reach. So if I put that on there, that would just look like 1, is that right? 1 would be like right here. Basically, a multiple of 1 means this range, it's going to be doubled in its high, or around that, before it takes another retrace. And so that's something you want to be aware of, because when you're holding retraces, the most important thing to distinguish is whether it's really a reversal or just a retrace for a high time frame entry that you got. And knowing if you have a high time frame entry, like I said yesterday, is very important, because that distinguishes whether you're going to go break even, whether you're going to like take money out immediately, whether you're going to start partialing, and just how to manage your money is different when you're in a distribution trade versus like a scalp like that, or like a 30-minute PO3 trade. So that's how price delivered right now. I mean, I might just put on another recording later and see how our AMDX profiles play out for the day, but that's how I traded today. Like I said, my executions were not great, but what I did see was, I said this like before recording, I wasn't going to trade 10 a.m., or I wasn't going to trade before 10 a.m., and look what I did. I completely broke my rules. If I would have waited, I would have taken the best trade of the day, and I just would have held it to Mog. Truthfully. So, but I ended up taking these losses, and so you're not always going to take that trade. And well, even if you don't break your rules and you see an A plus setup like I thought this was, you still may get break even or you may lose because you wanted to be in that trade early. And you may do that on a live account, on a funded account, not just a combine. So this is a real entry. This is something that can happen. But I'm saying if you wait, like I said to wait, but I didn't even listen to myself. 10 a.m. was going to be where we had the most data and we could put on some OTE ranges to have safe low entry stops for that 4 hour distribution. So that's just all I'm saying. Could have waited, but we ended up reading price pretty well with the confluences that we do use. It's not really that much technically. It's just used over and over and on every time frame. So I hope this helped. I actually just want to get off the charts for the day because it's sloppy. So I'm gonna cut the video here. We do have an SMT. I did say that in PM we could move lower because this is our X. So if we move X and goes up, I would be surprised. I think it's gonna move lower because we have so many targets below, and this is our manipulation. And actually, who knows? Really, I don't even care. Manipulation on the 90 minutes supposed to be for like another hour and a half almost. So I don't even care. I've already made my money. So we'll be back tomorrow to trade 10 a.m. specifically. That's a guarantee because I want more data and I want to get really good at 10 a.m. because I'm noticing how clean it is with the optimal trade entry retracement. And it's very predictable when you're trying to get low R entries in like 1 to 3s. Like on this price run, we could be out for the day. We don't need to hold more just because we're going in that direction. We could be out completely and have a great day. So that's how I read price today. Hope it helped, hope you learned something, and we'll be back tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later.